Okay, so hey guys, Chip here. Just gonna bring you a very quick video about the changes that Erron Black went through in the recent patch about 2 weeks ago, and just saying what his changes were and how it will affect him. So probably the biggest change, Erron Black only really had 2 changes, which was, one of them is very significant, the other not. It's kind of minor, and I'll get into that. So his overhead low, if you can see there, his overhead low is significantly slower. See that? Let me have a quick check. So actually, is that the right move? I think no. One sec. Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay, yeah. So his startup for his pistol whip is now 23 startup frames. Now that's significantly slower to his, I think it was 16 frames before, I think. But now, as you can see, his overhead low will now be blockable, or reactable. This means that he hasn't really got any mix-ups now, or he does, but it's going to be significantly weaker, and you're no longer going to be able to just play Erron Black as a sheer mix-up character like most people did before the patch. The positives of this, though, you may think, oh, this is only bad, oh, this is awful. The good thing about it is that you're not going to have any Erron Blacks who rely on the overhead low too much. Because before the patch, I know that I played a lot of Errons who couldn't deal with the other player knowing how to block the overhead low. Whenever somebody blocked the overhead low, maybe if they were Outlaw, they'd go sand, and then you'd block it and you'd punish them, and they'd just be like, they wouldn't know what to do because they don't know all of Erron Black's what's the word, all of his, it'll come back to me anyway. They don't utilize all of his moves. Instead, they just go for the overhead low because they know that most people can't block it. But now it's reactable, and they can't do that. Meaning that you're no longer going to have a bunch of Erron Blacks who are really cheap and always do the overhead low, which is pretty hard to block. And they get away with beating people with very little skill. But for us, the problem with it is, for us players who don't take advantage of the overhead low but kind of need it, it's going to be a lot harder to open up the opponent. You're going to have to use the 2-on-1, 2-2. You're going to use probably a 1-1 back 3, bit of down 4s, and the occasional low. Now, don't get me wrong, the overhead low still will catch people out, but you have to use it very selectively. You have to be careful when you use it, because some people just, it's pretty clear to see. So it's best to use in a situation of where you use it as mind games. So what I like to do is, because some people are still expecting the overhead low to come, even though it's blockable, or not blockable, reactable, they still assume you're going to do the overhead low. So instead, just do the low. And that catches out quite a lot of people. So as Gunslinger, as Gunslinger, you can just do low into down back 1-3, and then obviously you're safe. So that's be quite a good thing. So as I said, you can still use it as normal. It just is unlikely to catch the best players out with the overhead low, but you can still catch people out, which is the good thing about it. It's still an overhead low, and you can still use it to your advantage. But as I said, Erron Black's no longer a mix-up character, which is fitting, because in this patch, what they were trying to do was try to clear the game of it being just about 50-50s, which is fair enough. I don't know if I prefer that, but that's just the case. They just wanted to no longer have it be reliant on 50-50s, and instead be about pressure or patience or that kind of thing, yeah. So in a way, it's good. So you're just going to have to adapt more. If you do rely on the overhead low too much, just use the 2-1-1-2-2 string a lot. Use down 4 punch runs. It's no longer about mix-ups. So don't always go... Just when you have the option to go for a mix-up, just remember that the overhead low is no longer really that viable option compared to how it used to be. Okay, so another change is with Outlaw. Now obviously you can't, it's not an armor anymore, so you're going to get caught out, which is a problem because I feel like personally his EX Sand Toss was probably one of his best moves in Outlaw, but they took that away. Instead, now, if the opponent blocks, there's a pushback on doing the enhanced, or not, the EX version, as you can see, and it pushes them away and gives you a little bit more room. It's also safe, and so they can't punish you. I think it's -5. Yeah, -5. And it does slightly more damage. So that's it's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it does that much difference to your combos. It's just helpful if you go for like that. You can kind of just get a little bit more damage off. So also, if you want to go for maybe like a vortex type thing and try to make it safe, you can go like, oh wait, you can like make it safe by doing that. They can't punish you, so that's pretty handy, but I wouldn't say it's that major change. Another thing that they changed was made the slide 2 hits of armor. Or I think that they have just showed in the patch they've ensured that it is actually 2 hits of armor. So that's pretty much it for Erron. Although he hasn't got many changes, they're quite significant. Don't be too disheartened by them slowing the overhead low or the forward one, because it's to fit the new game. The game's no longer going to be about 50-50s, so you shouldn't play it like that anymore. Plus, Erron Black is still strong in his own right, as Gunslinger still has his zoning. It's pretty strong. Not the strongest in the game, but still pretty strong. There's his anti-airs, and he's just a quick character. He's got a great 2-on-1-2-2 string, so, you know, use it. So yeah, it's not over for Erron. Don't think that Erron Black's gonna go bottom tier now, because he won't. He's still strong. They didn't change that much. They just tried to change the things which didn't fit with the new game. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little run through, and I will be making a gunslinger tutorial soon, like combos, what to do. The only reason why I didn't do it earlier is because the patch was coming and I wanted to see what was going to be new. Turns out not a lot has changed, but except a little bit of his playstyle. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you later. Bye bye.